Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Ringside Cinema. I am Money Mike, and first, thank you for all y'all who watched my Saturday night main event live stream. I am looking to do more live streams going forward as we go into the new year. Obviously, Survivor Series, probably John Cena's final match, the Royal Rumble, and so forth. So go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button today as I do produce weekly wrestling content here on this channel. And as we close out 2025, that means WWE 2K25 is almost at its endpoint as we will soon be talking about WWE 2K26, which means it's time to talk about who could be on the cover of WWE 2K26. And I do have some options here between current superstars, some special editions with legends, potential showcase options, which I will make a different video for showcase mode all together coming up. But right now, I just want to focus on the cover. And let's focus right now on our new World Heavyweight Champion. And I think the favorite to land the cover for WWE 2K26, CM Punk. And I just kind of threw these covers together, so don't be mad about these covers looking awful. So CM Punk, I think you can say it's been a fantastic return to the WWE for CM Punk. And obviously a lot of gamers, a lot of wrestling fans were excited to once again play as CM Punk when he returned to the WWE in 2023 and made and was DLC for 2K24. And so I think the next logical step, especially now that he is the World Heavyweight Champion, would be to put him as the cover for 2K26, in which he was the cover for WWE 2K13. I mean, WWE 13. I'm sorry, WWE 13. So it would be 13 years apart that he was on the game cover. Plus, with CM Punk being on the cover, that does open the door potentially for AJ Lee being a pre order bonus, even though I do think that probably she'll be a part of a DLC, the first DLC pack, just like how CM Punk was a part of the ECW pack for 2K24 when that came out. So I'll get to AJ Lee more in a minute, but I do think that would be a fun way to bring back AJ Lee, tie everything together with CM Punk, AJ Lee. They had that tag match with Seth and Becky. So Punk being on the cover with potential of AJ Lee as DLC pre-order and CM Punk having a showcase would be a nice retrospective for CM Punk's career. Now, let's go to the man who was the World Heavyweight Champion. That was Seth freaking Rollins. Obviously, Seth Rollins, he's been on the cover before, 2K18. But when you look at 2025, the WWE in 2K in 2025 was built around Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins in the epic triple threat match at WrestleMania defeated Roman Reigns and CM Punk when Paul Heyman turned his back on Roman and Punk to align with Seth Rollins, and Braun Breaker joined him the very next night, setting up the vision to be created. And we saw that he won Money in the Bank. He cashed in at SummerSlam. This was the year of Seth Rollins, so it would have made sense going from Roman Reigns being on the cover this year to Seth Rollins next year, with potential for, again, Seth Rollins. A showcase with Seth Rollins would be interesting. because you wouldn't have to worry too much about not missing people. Obviously you want to have Edge, so you want to have the Seth Rollins Edge feud in there, but for the most part, you could do a showcase for Seth Rollins, and you could even go back as far as his early innings. And the next superstar that could be a cover candidate is Randy Orton. Now, I don't know where Randy Orton is. I think a lot of fans expected Randy Orton to show up at Saturday night's main event, but he did not. But in the realm that 2K23 had John Cena on the cover along with the John Cena showcase, 2K22 had Rey Mysterio on the cover and a Rey Mysterio showcase. It is not too far fetched that 2K would pick a veteran similar to those years with John Cena and Rey Mysterio, and a guy like Randy Orton, who has had a long historic career in WWE. He had his 20th WrestleMania match this year, would be a perfect showcase mode for 2K26. So you put Randy Orton on the cover with a Randy Orton showcase would be great. Plus, maybe you can get Bob Orton Jr. in the game, so you can get his dad in there. Very similar to what they did with Cody Rhodes when Cody was on the cover of 2K24, when you had Dusty Rhodes as a pre-order bonus, part of the American Nightmare pack. But yeah, a Randy Orton showcase, given that he's been in the WWE for over 20 years, he's had 20 WrestleMania matches, is a showcase mode and a cover that I think a lot of fans would thoroughly enjoy. And let's move on to the potential women who could be on the cover of 2K26. We did see Bianca and Rhea Ripley on the deluxe edition of 2K24, but I did kind of want to go different. I think you could have Rhea and Bianca. Each, I think, deserve their own cover, like as a solo star, but I wanted to go different because I didn't want to just repeat Rhea and Bianca since they were on the cover, the deluxe edition 2K24. So I went with the now former women's champion, Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton has had a tremendous year in WWE in 2025. 300 some plus day reign as champion. Her only loss was that Crown Jewel Championship match against Stephanie McCur, and the loss last night to Jade Cargill, in which she did lose her championship. But again, as you can see here, I made the box art here pink for Tiffany Stratton. Maybe perhaps it is still Tiffy time for WWE 2K26. And hey, why not a women's evolution showcase where we can get a showcasing a whole bunch of women, so you could have Tiffany Stratton on the cover. But what about a little satisfaction? We talk about the women's evolution, revolution, whatever you want to call it, and it all starts with Trish Stratus. Why not put the Hall of Famer, who did have a match with Tiffany Stratton, by the way, this year at Evolution, on the cover? This could be like the deluxe edition here, and this could accompany the Women's Revolution showcase if 2K wanted to go that route. You have Stratus, Trish, you have Trish Stratus here. Also, I have Nikki Bella as a potential cover. Again, these would be like the Deadman edition, so to speak, that we got this year, where it would be like a Women's Revolution edition. So you could put Trish Stratus on the cover. You could put Nikki Bella, who the WWE credits for starting the revolution anyway, so why not? And then, obviously, why not Io Sky? She's had a tremendous year as well. For me, I think Io Sky being on the cover, her just doing her little Like that perfect cover for me. And again, for a Women's Revolution edition with a Women's Revolution showcase, I think it would be perfect to showcase the a women superstar on the cover of the game. And again, this could be how we get AJ Lee, where we get a Women's Revolution DLC pack or a pre-order bonus, again alongside CM Punk being on the cover, or just a part of, if you order the Women's Revolution edition, you get AJ Lee as a pre-order bonus. And last but not least here, before we get into the legends, Charlotte Flair. I mean, when we look back at the year Charlotte Flair's had, man oh man, people did not like her winning the Royal Rumble. They booed her. You had all the backstage stuff going on with Tiffany Stratton, and she lost to Tiffany at WrestleMania, but like Charlotte has redeemed herself here in this tag team with Alexa Bliss, and you could put Charlotte Flair, who the WWE loves so much, on the cover as a solo star. Again, this is the idea here, whether it's Charlotte, Io, Tiffany, Nikki Bella, Trish. The idea here would be a Women's Revolution edition that would accompany a Women's Revolution showcase. So yeah, I mean WWE loves to market Charlotte Flair. Charlotte has redeemed herself in the eyes of many fans from where we were in the beginning of the year. So putting her on the cover would be amazing. And also, if they can get a deal done with Ric Flair, you could have Ric Flair back in the game to go along with Charlotte being on the cover. And hey, we all love our legends in the game. I know the fan base is kind of split. Some prefer to have a lot of legends, some prefer to have current superstars. But let's look at legends who could be on the cover. You know, we've had the Deadman edition this year with The Undertaker. So, what could we see in 2K26? I have a couple ideas here for legends. Starting off here, you gotta go Old Faithful here. They run the company, so to speak. Degeneration-X, DX edition of the game, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. You could do a combo showcase with Triple H and Shawn Michaels, highlighting both of their careers. Obviously, with Showcase this year, we had the Bloodline Dynasty. So, if the idea is to focus on multiple superstars, then you could do a showcase centered around the careers of both Shawn Michaels and Triple H, even though you could do a showcase individually about both of them, and I think the fans would be very happy. And again, we just got Billy Gunn back in the game with the Attitude Era pack. So we have all members of Degeneration-X in the game. So a DX edition of 2K26, accompanied by a Triple H, Shawn Michaels showcase, would be absolutely amazing. And you can see here I made the box art green to fit the DX theme. And hey, let's end this on a high note. Mick Foley, the faces of Foley, Mankind do love Cactus Jack. You know, we talked about the Bloodline Dynasty featuring multiple superstars. Well, Mankind is multiple. I mean, Mick Foley is multiple gimmicks across a whole variety of range of companies from WCW, ECW, WWE. Now with the addition of TNA potentially being involved in this game, you could even highlight some TNA stuff, even though, I mean, maybe you might want to forget about the fact that Mick Foley had matches in TNA. But the point is, there's still some fun things you could look at back on. And a Faces of Foley Have a Nice Day edition, whatever you want to call it, would be great. And you can see here I put all the Faces of Foley on the cover of this, on the cover here. So a Faces of Foley with a showcase mode of featuring all the characters of Mick Foley, and also the fact that Mick Foley is one of the better storytellers in professional wrestling. So having Mick Foley narrate showcase mode the way that Paul Heyman did this year for the Bloodline and narrate the story of his matches just would make that such a great showcase mode because you would want to hear Mick Foley's stories. You want to hear the stories about the matches. So yeah, I think Faces of Foley, Have a Nice Day edition, of 2K26 would be absolutely fantastic. Mick Foley showcase with him on the cover. Let me know in the comment below, guys. What do you guys think should be on the cover of 2K26? Do you like my choices? Did I leave anyone out? Leave a comment below. And as always, I've been your host, Money Mike, and you've been watching Ringside Cinema.